Ever pondered about the force that has shaped our world as we know it today? Ever considered the role of the Barbars? These enigmatic figures from the past, the Barbars, were not just simple nomadic tribes. They were architects of history, catalysts of change, and bearers of cultural exchange. Their imprint is etched deep into the annals of history, and their influence resonates even in our modern world. From the vast steppes of Eurasia to the rich civilizations they encountered, the Barbars have left an indelible mark. They were not mere invaders, but also traders, explorers, and settlers. Their interactions with various societies have shaped the course of history in ways we are yet to fully comprehend. But who were these Barbars? What were their origins, their culture, their legacy? How did they impact the world, and how does that influence linger on today? Stay with us as we unravel the history of the Barbars and their influence on our world. To understand their impact, we must first journey back to their roots. The Barbars, a group of people as enigmatic as they come, have a history that is as captivating as it is complex. Their origins trace back to the vast steppes of Central Asia, a land of harsh winters and endless horizons. Here in this seemingly inhospitable terrain, the Barbars found their first homes and began to shape their unique identity. As nomadic pastoralists, the Barbars lived a life on the move. Their survival was dependent on their herds, and as such, their society was fundamentally shaped by the rhythms of the natural world. Seasons dictated their movements, and the health of their animals was a matter of life and death, leading to a deep respect for the environment and the creatures they depended on. In these early days, the Barbars were not a unified group. Instead, they were a collection of tribes, each with its own unique customs, traditions, and governance structures. Over time, these tribes began to interact, trade, and intermarry, gradually forming a loose confederation of distinct yet interconnected communities. It was from these humble beginnings that the Barbars would eventually rise to become a force that reshaped the world. The Barbars' society evolved as they adapted to the demands of their environment and lifestyle. Their skills as horsemen and warriors became legendary, their ability to navigate vast distances unparalleled. Yet they were not just warriors. They were also traders, explorers, and innovators. They developed sophisticated methods of communication, a rich oral tradition, and a deep understanding of the natural world that was far ahead of its time. Yet, for all their advances, the Barbars remained a people deeply rooted in their traditions. Their society was marked by a strong sense of community, a deep respect for elders, and a reverence for the natural world. These values would ultimately shape the Barbars' approach to conquest, diplomacy, and governance, influencing countless societies and cultures in the process. With such humble beginnings, one might wonder how the Barbars left such a profound mark on history. Let's delve into it. From their humble beginnings, the Barbars began to expand their territories, reaching far and wide. Like a wave, they swept across the landscape, their footprints indelibly stamped on the sands of time. Their conquests were not merely military. They were a cultural and societal revolution that drastically altered the course of history. The Barbars, who had once been confined to their humble homelands, began to spread their influence across vast territories. From the verdant plains of Central Asia to the sun-drenched lands of the Mediterranean, their reach extended, their dominion growing with each passing year. Their expansion was not a mere territorial acquisition. It was a testament to their indomitable will and their unwavering determination. Their conquests were not without resistance, of course. They faced formidable foes, battled against overwhelming odds, and yet they emerged victorious. Each triumph further cemented their place in history, their influence seeping into the very fabric of the societies they dominated. And with every new territory they claimed, their culture, their ideals, and their way of life spread, leaving an indelible mark on the regions they touched. In the lands they dominated, the Barbars brought about profound changes. They introduced new systems of governance, new ways of life, and new philosophical ideas. They were catalysts of change, their influence permeating every aspect of society. They reshaped economies, redefined societal norms, and reimagined cultural landscapes. But the Barbars were not just conquerors. They were shapers of culture and society. Their legacy was not merely a series of territorial acquisitions, it was a cultural and societal revolution that continues to resonate even today. Their influence permeated every stratum of society, from the highest echelons of power to the humblest of homes. They were a force that reshaped the world, their impact echoing through the ages. So as we delve deeper into the history of the Barbars, let us remember that they were not just warriors, they were pioneers, trailblazers, and architects of change. The Barbars were not just conquerors, they were shapers of culture and society. A society's culture often defines its legacy. The Barbars were no different. In a world where empires rise and fall, where civilizations come and go, one constant remains: the indelible mark of culture. The Barbars, a group often depicted as uncivilized, left a cultural footprint that has echoed through centuries. They were not merely warriors but patrons of arts and culture. They embraced and fused the diverse cultures of the lands they conquered, creating a rich tapestry of traditions, arts and knowledge. Their unique practices and contributions have had a profound influence, shaping the world as we know it today. One of the most striking aspects of Barbar culture was their unique approach to education. They valued wisdom and learning, and their thirst for knowledge led to the creation of some of the world's most significant libraries and centers of learning. These were not just repositories of books, but hubs of intellectual exchange that nurtured scholars and fostered new ideas. The Barbars also left a lasting imprint on the world of art. Their intricate metalwork, ornate jewelry, and breathtaking architecture continue to inspire artists today. The fluidity of their artistic style, a result of their diverse cultural influences, is a testament to their openness and adaptability. But perhaps the most profound cultural contribution of the Barbars was their system of laws. They upheld principles of justice and equality, creating a legal system that was revolutionary for its time. Today we can see traces of their legal concepts in modern legal systems around the globe. The Barbars' cultural influence extended to language as well. They adopted and adapted the languages of the regions they conquered, creating a linguistic legacy that still resonates in many modern languages. Their music, their dances, their stories, all of these elements of Barbar culture have seeped into the fabric of various societies, becoming intertwined with local traditions and customs. Their cultural impact was immense, but there's more to the story of the Barbars. The Barbars were not just a historical footnote, they left a legacy that still resonates today. Indeed, the barbarian tribes were not merely transient figures in the annals of history. Instead, their legacy is deeply etched into the fabric of modern society. The ripples of their influence can be discerned in various aspects of life, from language and law to culture and commerce. A significant part of the barbarian legacy lies in their language. Several words in modern European languages trace their roots back to the barbarian tongues. This linguistic legacy serves as a reminder of the profound influence the Barbars had on the societies they encountered, integrating their language into the cultural DNA of regions far and wide. The Barbars also left their mark on legal systems around the world. Elements of barbarian law, with its emphasis on personal freedom and individual rights, can be found in legal codes from the British Magna Carta to the American Constitution. These legal principles, originally espoused by the Barbars, have become cornerstones of democratic societies worldwide. Moreover, the Barbars' influence on trade and commerce cannot be overstated. Their strategic positioning along key trade routes facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures, shaping the economic landscape of the ancient world and paving the way for global trade as we know it today. Yet, the legacy of the Barbars is not all rosy. Their history serves as a stark lesson about the dangers of unchecked expansion and the unsustainability of empires built on conquest and plunder. The rise and fall of the barbarian tribes remind us that societies built on such foundations are destined for decline and dissolution. In conclusion, the Barbars were more than just fierce warriors or transient invaders. They were agents of change, catalysts in the evolution of societies, and their influence continues to permeate various facets of modern life. The Barbars, a society that once thrived, left an indelible mark on our world. This legacy, both positive and cautionary, continues to reverberate through the corridors of time, influencing and shaping our world in myriad ways. The Barbars, once considered as mere invaders, were so much more. They were pioneers, conquerors, and creators who left an indelible mark on the pages of history. From their origins in the vast steppes of Asia, they expanded across continents, influencing cultures, shaping societies, and altering the course of history along the way. Their story is not just a tale of conquest, but a testament to the resilience of human spirit and the power of cultural exchange. Their legacy lives on, not merely in the ruins of their once great cities, but in the very fabric of our modern world. This exploration into the history of the Barbars is just the tip of the iceberg. History is a grand tapestry, woven with countless stories like theirs, each one waiting to be discovered. So, let's keep delving into the past. For every thread unraveled reveals a new layer of understanding. History is rich with stories like that of the Barbars, each one shaping the world we live in today in its unique way.